Mazuma Boxing. Okay, man, I'm here back. I'm back here with another video to talk about this next fight that's going on tomorrow night on HBO Latino, which is a fight between Philadelphia's own Gabe Rosado, Gabe the King Rosado, versus Joshua Clottey. Okay, man, this is a pretty solid fight after the brutal loss that Gabe Rosado has suffered against David Lemieux. And it's a solid fight to come back to. You know, Joshua Clottey isn't a guy that you should actually sleep on. He's a pretty solid fighter. I mean, if you look at Clottey's resume, he has fought some quality opponents in Miguel Cotto and Manny Pacquiao, and Gabe Rosado has done the same, being that he fought Triple G, Kid Chocolate, David Lemieux, one of the Charlo brothers. You know, his resume is pretty stacked. He fought Curtis Stevens on BKB and more, you know. And, you know, he might have lost all those big fights that he was given. But that doesn't take away the fact that he has a pretty huge fan base and that the fans love him because of his style. And he keeps coming no matter what, man. His heart, he has a pretty big heart, and fans tend to really appreciate that here in America. And Joshua Clottey, you know, I mean, he was being real defensive against Cotto because he respected his power too much. And he was giving Cotto, after that headbutt that he had given Cotto, he was giving Cotto some problems. And there are actually people who believe that he won that fight. Do I think he won that fight? Absolutely not. But, you know, everybody has their own opinion, and they're entitled to it, regardless of whether they're illogical or not. That's the reason why they're opinions. Anyway, you know, now I'm talking about Gabe Rosado. You know, a lot of people believe that he beat Jalen Love, which is another quality opponent he had faced. But, you know, I believe he won too, but he was obviously robbed. And Jalen Love went with the win as if he really won, which he's supposed to do. And that's what you tend to do with gifts. You accept them for what they are, you know. And there are a lot of people, well, you know, I think it was pretty clear that he had a pretty solid lead against Kid Chocolate, but his face didn't hold up in that fight, and they stopped the fight because, you know, Gabe Rosado is really known for that really bad scar tissue that he has. And you know, here's my prediction. I'm pretty like confident in Gabe Rosado winning this fight because if you just look at this picture alone, you're able to see the height difference. And this guy Gabe, he's too fucking big, man. You like just look at him, you know. But that's not the reason why I believe he's gonna win the fight. I think he'll be able to. I think if he fights smart and he doesn't fight with his heart, which he struggles to do sometimes, you know. But you know, his confidence. It seems as if his confidence has gotten higher since he had got this new trainer, being Fernando Vargas, and he seems to like it. And hopefully he doesn't I hope he's had a pretty good training camp because he has said himself that he tends to be a control freak, and he'll like take over his own training camp and focus on things that he doesn't need to focus on, and you know, and that tends to lead to a bad fight. And I hope he's had a pretty solid training camp, and you know, and something else I know about Gabe is that he always eats right because he'll tend to manipulate the foods that Chris Algieri will make, which I thought was pretty cool as well. But other than that, you know, like I said, I hope he had a pretty good training camp, and he has to box in this fight. I really believe he has to use his height and his length as an advantage in this fight. You know, I don't ever remember a particular time where Clottey was an aggressive fighter, but you know, we all know Gabe Rosado tends to struggle with those kinds of fighters that are aggressive, and he's not able to have them. They get him to the back pedaling, and then, you know, they start to land clean punches, and then that's when the scar tissue becomes a tragic downside to that fight. But I don't ever remember Clottey being an aggressive fighter. With that being said, I think he needs to just stick and move on this guy if he wants to win, and just use the outside and stay away from the ropes. So you know, just just I really believe Gabe can win if he just boxes this guy. And you know, Gabe isn't really known for his power. So even though he had that impressive win in his first BKB fight, that knockout was pretty brutal. But other than that, you know, I really think he can outbox him and win this fight. And I feel like this is a I really feel like Gabe has to win this fight. He has to. Because if he loses against Clottey, then it's just like, ah, man, this guy, everybody's going to lose hope in him. Regardless of how many fans he has. He hasn't won inside the boxing ring since, I believe, 2012, 2011, if I'm not mistaken. And it's been 2 to 3 years that you haven't won a fight, and I feel like, and you've been active, so you've been losing a lot of fights. I believe he had 9 losses. For him to take a 10th loss would be devastating, and I really feel like he doesn't need that right now if he wants to continue his career. And he has to win this fight, so I believe all the confidence is. I feel like he has all the confidence he needs. I feel like he has all the advantages he needs. I feel like he has the tools he needs, and the motivation is there as well. So I don't believe there's any excuses for this fight. You know, that's my take on it. Let me know what you guys think. So I know Diplomats is rooting for Clottey. I mean, that's what he had wrote in my comments. I didn't get a chance to look at his video, but I know Diplomats had Clottey winning. So let me know what you guys think, and let me know why you think he's going to win. And that's about it. This is Mazuma Boxing, and we out of here.